This is Angel Metro, and you are watching BJ and DG right now.
Thank you, Angel. Ladies and gentlemen, we have urgent news. For more on this story, over to Danger Ginger.
Well, after last week, we had a whole thing of, to bring it up, scrolling at the bottom screen, what happened to the AEW feed on Collision? Well, rumor had it was uploaded to Max to Monday night, I believe. I just went looking for it just to see if it was there, and I still can't find it. That final 30 minutes of Collision from last week will never be seen again. It has happened. Hey, Captain Heel. How's it going? As it is your quote on the bottom of the screen, we were just updating everybody that we still haven't seen that last 30 minutes of that Collision.
It never happened.
Sad, horrible news.
Seriously.
Is it
anyway,
really that?
Dude, there's a lot to talk about.
There is.
We had a lot of news in the wrestling world this week. I guess
We still have news happening this week.
There is multiple happenings yet to come.
Yeah, WrestleMania being pulled from New Orleans.
Yoink.
And now they just get Money in the Bank. Apparently, it was a TKO board decision. Very interesting.
Maybe they've seen the weather forecast and like New Orleans will be underwater by then.
Global warming's a bitch.
But, rumor at the moment has it that it's going back to Vegas.
Found a new flavor at my Dollar Tree. Well, not new, but they finally have grape in stock there.
I mean, I got Dr. Pepper Cherry, which I am trying for the first time right now. Oh, that's good. I agree with Captain Heel here. It really kind of did do the fans dirty a little bit. What my whole thing is, tickets haven't been on sale yet, right?
Mm-hmm.
Being perfectly honest here. And they're already pulling the event. Like, what is happening?
At least they pulled it before tickets went on sale.
Did they give any kind of explanation?
Not yet.
Rumor is that TKO likes it in Vegas, but how many people really want to have to travel to Vegas on a yearly basis to go to WrestleMania? That wasn't part of the gimmick for a WrestleMania. It went town to town.
I mean,
outside of the early years where it just stayed at MSG.
I mean, that was, and even then they split off and had what was it, WrestleMania 2 from three different venues.
Well, let's not talk about that.
I'm just saying.
It happened.
We had the Zoe Stark injury this week
brutal.
on Raw.
It was during a return for Kairi Sane and the match against Rhea Ripley to qualify for Money in the Bank.
Yeah, which is what it turned into.
Yep.
Which, very unfortunate, horrible injury. So it's sad in that aspect, and I'm not trying to undercut that situation. But Kairi had to eat the pin when she probably wouldn't have if the match had gone as planned.
I mean,
that's not good for a return.
No, but in a situation like that, what we ended up getting was essentially a one-on-one match with Rhea Ripley and Kairi Sane, and they went out there and just did their thing after that spot.
Amazing match.
Did what they needed to do, and they got the match where it needed to go. So Rhea qualifies for Money in the Bank.
Yeah, and Rhea, she was the one penciled in to win. There was no real other way out of it because it was a triple threat. So there's no countouts. There's no disqualifications.
That must be tough having to call it on the fly like that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Also,
it happens more than we'd want.
How you doing?
Yeah.
Yeah, it happens more than you want, but less frequently than it does or did
Captain
in the past.
Heel
So that's
coming through. Sorry, I just lost your feed. I think AEW was trying to run the rest of Collision.
Well, hey.
Was it just a black screen?
If it runs past us, we'll let you know.
Oh, man. But yeah. a lot happening this week. A lot of big shows. So
Yep.
let's kick off with the most recent being Saturday night's main event. And boy, a lot of good lead up to it, with Monday Night Raw and SmackDown. Getting the setup for the tag team match. Just real quick, also with Raw, Roxanne Perez officially being signed.
Yep. Right after Julia was official last Friday. So we expected that. So congratulations to both Roxanne and Julia on their call-ups. And Stephanie Vaquer staying in NXT, solidifying her place there for the time being until she's feels that she's ready to move on to the next level, which may be as soon as the draft. Who knows?
Whenever that.
And then Jordan Grace is going to be getting called up soon too. Not soon, but soon.
But relatively soon, yes.
I mean, we'll see after tonight because she faces Stephanie Vaquer for the NXT Women's title tonight, and if they put that championship on her, we could be looking at something different where maybe all this talent that was pushed to the top of NXT is now all of a sudden being pushed to the main roster.
Yeah, could be.
My thing is that women's championship division is super depleted right now. Like I haven't seen much from anyone else on the roster
to fill these spots that are coming. I think Fallon Henley has potential to fill one of those spots.
Sol Ruka, maybe. Zarya.
I'm not sold. Zarya, yes. Sol Ruka, I'm not sold on yet to be in the main event picture.
But that's like the tough thing. Like, yeah, I want to see these ladies on the main roster and everything, but what's it going to do to NXT?
Right.
There's like no division. Right now, the only two women I put in that title picture are Jordan Grace and Stephanie Vaquer.
Yeah. And
so who's it going to be?
Still, too. Like, you can't discredit her. I would say if there's anybody.
She's gone.
Well, she had. Oh, yeah. Yeah, we just talked about that.
Literally, like 30 seconds.
Yeah, like Julia and Roxanne were like half of that division and they're gone.
Pending to the way tonight goes, I could see Kalani Jordan moving up
into that women's main event picture. Yeah,
it's about time. She's been in that mid card spot now. It's time to start trying to elevate her some and see if she can hang.
Maybe tonight we see a debut of a woman who might be in that title picture soon, even if it's just in the crowd. Just saying. Not saying the name.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Not saying any name.
Right. Like.
Maybe we see someone in the crowd and they say, "Oh my God, look who it is! Oh, they just signed a contract with NXT, like they used to do." I don't know. I'm just,
Hey, there's always things that can happen, man.
Who's out there? Isn't there someone from AEW who's rumored to be out there and available?
I'm not sure if she's available yet or if it's just playing things close to the vest, but Mariah May's rumored for her contract to be run out or is running out, and there's been nothing to it yet.
Or maybe isn't Tay Mello out there?
No, she's I think still signed with AEW.
Oh, I think I heard
she's just on
her contract was up.
She's just still doing the maternity leave thing. So hey,
I mean, or her contract ran out and she decided to stay home.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure Sammy's making plenty of money for the both of them.
Because I don't see a lot of ladies from the North American women's title picture stepping up, and you still need to have a title picture there.
Yeah. Yep. Well, maybe JC Jane breaks out on her own a little bit and breaks up into that area.
She's been there forever. I could definitely see that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of potential. I mean, Lola Vice.
Yeah.
That it seems like she's being primed.
She's always
into one of those spots. Yeah.
But then you got a lot of green talent like Ren Sinclair and all the Carmen Petrovic. She's still pretty green, although she's got a lot of potential.
Thea Hale.
So you have a North American women. I'd put her in the title. I totally slipped my mind, but yeah, I'd definitely put her in North America. Sorry, women's world title picture.
Yes, yeah.
And I mean, right now, also, all these women that got called up, Roxanne, Julia, right now, they're both in Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
we're really seeing that the talent that is coming up from there is being given opportunities to shine.
And so far, they're paired with two of the veterans in Rhea and Alexa.
Because right now, if you look at who's in the women's Money in the Bank ladder match, just out of the four, it's Alexa Bliss, Rhea Ripley, Roxanne Perez, and Julia.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just those four there, it's just like, I would think that Rhea is the favorite to win right now.
Yeah.
But I could see
probably
four of them walking away with it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Tiffany Stratton won it last year.
And we still have 2 to add.
Yeah, and the men's right now only has LA Knight and Solo in that. But we know Jacob Fox didn't get a chance to qualify this week.
Yeah, I would love to see him get in.
There's still just the 2. Okay.
Yep.
And then they'll throw in like AJ Styles, or not AJ Styles, like someone like, I don't know, I can't think of
you know what? Who I'm hoping gets thrown in there? Karrion Kross. Imagine a Karrion Kross Money.
Good shout.
Yeah.
Good shout.
Yeah, that would be. He could just definitely play mind games with that briefcase.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, definitely.
And then imagine Karrion Kross cashing in on Cena on his last night. That would be interesting, and that would be a lot of fun.
It would depend on where Cena's story is at that point. Like, what would Karrion Kross have to destroy of Cena's? That's his thing. Is like getting in your head and bringing down what you.
Here's what he's destroying. John Cena on his last night has successfully defended the WWE Championship in the main event
as a face.
No, as a heel.
Still as a heel.
He's going to be full blown heel. And his whole thing is going to be, I'm leaving with this championship. I'm ruining wrestling. And as he goes to leave the ring, we could do a lights out thing or whatever. Karrion Kross is in that ring and smacks him with the briefcase, hits him with a finish, does the whole cash-in thing.
And saves wrestling.
And Karrion Kross is your new WWE champion. And we still, because a heel, nobody would be shocked to see a heel cash in on a heel, especially if Cena's leaving. You don't got to really worry about the repercussions of it. Right. And if you're secretly planning one more Cena match, say at WrestleMania, Karrion Kross versus John Cena.
Yeah, we have got appearances has been the wording I've seen with how many like appearances Cena has left, not matches he has left. So. Yes. One appearance, 2 matches.
I would love to see his like bonus track, be Braun Breaker.
Sure.
Passing the torch.
But so Saturday night's main event last night, guys. What a show.
Speaking of Braun Breaker, starting off with that match with him and Seth Rollins versus CM Punk and Sami Zayn. Yeah, that was a hell of a match, and with one big return.
Yeah, and it's a name that we've talked about, and I think one of us.
I kept saying no. I kept thinking this guy just didn't make sense, but apparently I was completely wrong about that.
He's a perfect fit.
Yeah.
I'm the one who was wrong about that. I take full 100%. I was wrong.
And it. Like I said, I'd rather have seen it be a tag team, which there's still potential. This could be a 5-man group, like a actual full-blown dangerous alliance a la NWO style, like just 5 core members. Because then you can add a tag team in there, but just you don't need to, I feel like now, because
now you have Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman is your manager. Seth Rollins is the leader. You got Braun Breaker. And you're returning big Bronson Reed.
And you put them as a tag team with each other? For the
Braun and big Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker. Yeah, that's a nasty tag team.
Call him Braun.
Oh.
Knew something like
the Bronson Breakers. Ryan in the chat. If at
I'm not in
Fifth
catering. That's
had
amazing.
Becky, you know, at this point,
why not
I
add
would
Becky?
be okay with it if it's a women's star.
It makes sense because
I was more
her and
thinking
Seth,
of,
power
She's heel
couple in
now.
WWE.
I mean,
Yeah.
and would that make Becky the first Paul Heyman gal?
I don't
Well, then
know.
I'll just automatically hate.
Well,
the
she's
group
the
if
man
Becky
though,
does it.
so she's the Paul
yeah.
Heyman man. She's the Paul Heyman man. No.
Anyway, let's get to some sanity here. Our referee has completely lost his bloody mind.
Yeah, I got syndicator ring. I got syndicator ring.
But yeah, this was a hard hitting tag team match. These guys
yeah.
really went out there, and this was what started off the show.
Yeah. Yeah, setting the tone for the night.
Not a lot of matches on the show, obviously, to fit in that time slot, but like quality.
It was a 2-hour show.
matches.
It was the typical.
It was 5 matches. Yeah.
Yeah.
But they squeezed down the amount of matches from a regular PLE into 2 hours.
Right. Yeah. Like the middle
Less
of it, all the
packages
matches felt
being
really
played.
short.
Yeah.
Like match 2 and 3 felt really short.
Oh man, beautiful. But yeah,
cheers.
This was like I said, a good way to kick off the show.
Yeah,
and you found a way to get that nice little shocker to start the show, having Bronson Reed come out and just obliterate. Who was it? Punk?
It was CM Punk. He crashed him through the barricade.
Oh,
and then there was the tease of like, okay, is he aligned with them or is he just out for himself?
Oh, because Braun Breaker and him were facing off with each other, like.
Yeah. And then Sammy comes around and gives him the hug. Yeah, that mafia style hug from Sammy or not Sammy, Seth.
Not Sammy.
Yeah, I knew what I wasn't saying. So, this is going to be a powerful family.
And he is a perfect fit.
Well, yeah, I agree.
It's not that I didn't think he'd be a good fit. I just thought that they would have, some sort of better like struggle against each other. But hey, there may be an internal struggle in this group.
It's coming.
Never know.
It's coming down the line.
Yeah,
things can't be perfect forever.
Yeah, you can't have Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed in that close of a proximity together for too long. I don't think.
Yeah,
those are two big egos that are going to clash.
And even the lead up to it with Jey Uso and Braun Breaker on Raw this past week for the lead up, like having those storylines cross over together.
Yep.
Like that was a great match.
Yeah.
So how about
title match?
So how about the early Cena interaction with Jey Uso?
That was fun. Yeah. That comes after Cena's match. So
weren't there two?
No,
that was after Cena's match because it was. I think it was on Jay's way out to the ring. He was getting ready.
Okay, yeah. Never mind. You're right.
Whoa. So the second match of the night was the women's U.S. title match between Chelsea Green and Zelina Vega. So it was a match.
Yeah, like it was not a bad match. Chelsea Green has
it wasn't bad.
Where she got completely busted open.
Yeah.
Like her whole face right here was a bloody mess at the end of that match.
Still not the worst shape she's been in after a match.
No,
not at all.
Hey, at least she can have a match on the main roster without breaking something now.
Yeah.
That's the truth. But that was that match. Yeah, that's exactly. I didn't expect Chelsea.
Yeah. No. Expected Zelina to walk out with the win there. Yeah.
I'm starting to think that Chelsea's going to carry her way into the women's WWE title picture at some point. Or even if she goes over the Raw into that women's world championship picture. Because it's about time, because both sides, I feel like they need to do some type of something to freshen up both divisions at the main roster level.
Yep.
Because we're kind of running everything back now again for like the third, fourth time. But hopefully,
what happens when they get rid of the party girls?
Who knew they were the whole keystone?
Yeah, especially considering that they weren't even on TV. Hell, I don't even think they were invited to catering at this point.
How about the barbecue?
They were on TV.
Oh, no. Look, sitting in the crowd doesn't count.
They were on NXT.
What, WrestleMania time?
I don't remember.
No,
within
Royal
like a
Rumble
month.
time?
I don't know.
The last time I remember them on NXT was the 2300 Arena show. Because they were.
I have no concept of time. Yeah, okay.
Time illusion, as are birds.
Speaking of
It's
illusions,
funny you said that. I was like literally looking at a bird right now.
So, and then after that match, we get the announcement that June 7th at Worlds Collide, it will be Vikingo versus Chad Gable 1-on-1.
Looking forward to that. Haven't seen Vikingo actually wrestle since AEW, so this will be good.
Yeah, Vikingo and Chad Gable.
Oh, we're definitely going to get a run in from El Grande Americano then.
El Grande Americano running.
I'm just waiting. I'm just waiting to find out that Chad Gable legitimately has like an identical twin brother.
Yeah, Brad Gable.
Brad Gable.
It's worse than Ezekiel.
Oh man, when Elijah appeared on NXT, Kevin Owens must have lost his mind.
Right. Or it might even be his little brother, Tad Gable.
Tad.
Ew.
Yeah, Thaddeus. Tad.
Oh man.
Or if it's his father, Dad Gable.
Oh.
Or his angry uncle, Mad Gable.
Old Mad Gable.
Yep.
Or there's the BMX rider in the family, Rad Gable.
Oh God.
Quality content right now, ladies and gentlemen.
And all these characters are played by Jim Carrey.
And Eddie Murphy.
Are played by Chad Gable.
Oh, with a special appearance by Adam Sandler.
Except El Grande Americano.
Yes, because he's his own person.
Nah, he's not even on the movie credits. He's an after credits cutscene. MCU style. But anyway, let's get this train back on track here.
Why?
Choo choo.
Because this is something I've been waiting to talk about.
Okay.
We get John Cena coming out for his match with R-Truth. And then we turn around. We're waiting for R-Truth to come out. We get John Cena's music hitting, and we get Ron Cena.
Yeah, with the shirt and everything.
So I had a friend who was at that show, sat behind the entranceway, and after the show, he bought that shirt.
Nice.
Love it. That's amazing. They need to be selling that on WWE Shop, and I might need to get one for myself.
Yeah, that's how I felt with the Joe Hendry WrestleMania shirt. BJ's like,
still sedimentary. Sedimentary, my dear.
We got a little sediment.
But yeah, this match with Cena and Truth was actually a pretty good match, all things considered. Of the spot that it was in.
Yep.
It wasn't the squash I thought it would be.
Yeah, no.
It wasn't the
R-Truth got off some of John Cena's moves.
He got off the whole 5 moves of doom, didn't he?
Yeah.
I really do wish that they would have done the Dusty finish with this and had it be a WWE Championship match.
Or no, it's not a WWE Championship match. But R-Truth, if he won, he would have thought it was and just gone around holding the belt, and then they take it away from him and give it back to Cena.
I'm cool with that. No, that's when the low blow happens, when they rip the belt out of his hand, because the referee falls, and then Cena just retains the title anyway. I was
the way they did it, it worked.
I was telling Shep during the week they really should put the title on Truth for like 2 weeks and then let him drop it back to Cena at Money in the Bank.
Yeah, didn't happen.
But I feel like that's kind of a waste of a Cena match. I mean, we already have him in a tag match. You know?
Oh yeah, you mean a tag match? That means absolutely nothing.
Go what? Yeah, why?
Oh,
just for Cody Rhodes.
Yeah, I mean, why are we working back to this? I really feel like there's going to be a swerve somewhere that gets...
We haven't gotten there yet.
No, he's in AEW now.
No.
No.
A swerve somewhere.
I'm saying, like, in the show.
Yeah. We're almost there.
We're getting there.
But yeah, so fun. It was a fun match.
Yep.
You know?
Yeah.
And then after that, boy, do we pick up the intensity sub with the Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre cage match.
And Jesse the Body in there on commentary along with this, and he brought up some valid criticisms that I've had for a while about.
You don't win a match like that.
Exactly.
Just walking out the door. You gotta climb out of the cage.
Yes.
He was
Yes.
hilarious. It's like he hasn't watched wrestling in 30 years.
But that is a valid criticism that I've had since they started allowing that crap, and I am right there with you, Body.
You know what?
Or pins only.
No, number one.
Escape page has always been a valid way, but you got to go up and over. Through the door,
Pin only
what's
or
that
escape
crap?
only, I'm happy with.
All right, so number one, I hate the idea that normal cage matches, not the Hell in a Cell, not the Elimination Chamber, a normal cage match like we got last night can't end in a pinfall and submission. The whole point of a cage match is to escape your opponent however you can. One of those options being just through the door, but the problem is usually 9 times out of 10, it's a not clean way to end the match when they use the doorway, because usually there's interference and then it's just the convenience of walking out. But what it says to beat your opponent,
pull someone out of the door. You know, when Seth Rollins
pulled
CM Punk out of the door.
If I'm not mistaken, in like the 60s and 70s, cage matches were won by pinning your opponent or submitting your opponent. Like escaping was not allowed.
Right.
Like
it was
when Lex
mainly
Luger
just to
and
keep
Bruiser
the action
Brody,
contained.
when Lex Luger just like ran out of the ring.
Yeah.
He didn't win the match. Like that wasn't like you had to pin your opponent or submit your opponent in the cage. Like that was originally that's how it was, and then it shifted to escape the cage
over the top
in WWE.
Yeah.
I mean, variations of the rules. I like the idea of the finish being escaping the cage. It doesn't matter how.
But I don't like the door.
I like one or the other. The door is fine, but make it. Don't just be like, "Hey, open this" and walk out. Like make it difficult to open, like a pair of bolt cutters, like on the other side, and a little hole where you have to reach your hand through, and like.
Sure.
Maybe so that you get so that you kind of get that time frame.
Yeah,
what it would take kind of. I mean, you know what though? One of the things I've always liked about the door is when the guy thinks he's getting out, and the next thing you know, they just grab him and close and just yank him right back in. There's moments that make it worth it, and even then, most of the time, it was usually still they would climb over the cage for the finish. But then when you get the moments where you get like the really devious heel, say something like a full-blown heel Randy Orton would have done. Handcuff his opponent to the cage and force them to watch him walk out the door, and there's nothing you can do about it. Right. There's just a thing that it's not just walking out the door, but the way it's done. And at that point, that kind of solidifies this feud. Like, I walked out the steel cage door on you. I didn't climb over the top. You watched me. You watched me hop down to the end. Because
Drew McIntyre wasn't watching anything after that concerto. So.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like the idea of what the violence it took to get to that spot. That's a spot to where it's kind of like, you earned the right. Like, yeah, he's not moving. What's the point of me climbing the cage and hurting myself? I just set myself up to escape the cage the easy way, because that's the challenge. Is because it's faster for somebody to attempt to climb the cage than it is to wait for the referee to open the door. Because the referee's the one who has to open it from the outside.
But a lot of times you'll see that ref is like opening the door as the person's getting to that corner. Like it's already a quarter of the way open because they're signaling for
And even then, most of the time we get close to getting that finish, we always have somebody come out and clock them in the face with the door anyway.
A lot of times
we always get something to where it doesn't happen like that.
Yeah, it does happen. So, but I would prefer if it would go back to being, submission, pinfall, or over the top.
I hate that cage match because cage matches should never end in a pinfall or submission. Otherwise, you should just have a normal match or do it in the Hell in a Cell. Because it makes it it just doesn't bring a differentiate. It makes them the same match practically. Just one, you can actually get out of the cage somehow, to where in the Hell in the Cell you actually have to break the cage to get out.
Yeah,
that's what made a cage match special. Just like when they started doing TLC matches in the 2010s and allowed pinfalls and submissions.
Well, TLC matches were always pinfall or submission. It was just the table
match.
Table
match with extra stuff.
Yeah, it was an extra ladder match with extra stuff. That's what I'm saying. There was
okay.
Yeah, there was a point to where they started taking it away, depending on how they booked the show. Like, oh yeah, tables, ladders, and chairs are just legal weapons. No, it's a ladder match. Hang the goddamn belt, and let's get to it.
Okay, fair.
But yeah, now what we've all been slightly working our way around talking about, this World Heavyweight Championship match with Jey Uso and Logan Paul.
Yeah, we had the confrontation between Cena and Uso on the way to the ring, and John saying he'd be watching it very closely.
Like how it says, how embarrassing would it be to drop your championship to a YouTuber?
Yeah,
that's worse than David Arquette.
At least he was a legit actor. We'll say.
I take offense to that.
Which part?
Yeah.
The losing your title to a YouTuber thing.
Well, I mean, I know I don't deserve a wrestling title.
Simon Miller does.
I don't know who Simon Miller is. I just destroyed BJ. BJ, you with us? Buddy, you alive?
Are you serious, man?
Yeah, I have not a clue.
Wow. That's some homework for you.
So, did you guys get any idea that John Cena, after that that little face-to-face, that John Cena was going to interfere in this match?
Yeah, absolutely felt that way.
It definitely set it up, yeah.
I don't know. I was actually still kind of surprised. I felt like that was below Cena.
No, not this Cena. This Cena absolutely is willing to do that kind of stuff. Why not?
I don't know. It just, I mean, I guess I just wasn't thinking of it like that when it happened. I figured it was more of a you got these guys just crossing paths, so we might as well have the champions interact with each other.
Yeah, set something up. Why not? Yeah, I mean,
I would love to see that match.
Yeah. So you set this up for a SummerSlam thing, or even like you Survivor
Series makes the most sense.
I was about to say Survivor Series. You just have them have their teams and whatever, and then what if Cena's last match, you actually have him versus Jay title for title, and Cena could potentially walk out with both belts? And really,
I don't know if Jay's going to be champion that long.
Yeah, probably not.
The way they've been doing his title defenses recently, and after what we found out on Raw during that promo with Logan Paul to start it off, and then Gunther coming out, and as we now know from last week, that he's the number one contender to the winner of that match. And
so we'll see when he gets that match against Jay.
Well, we know in 2 weeks.
Well, but doesn't Jay now have that match with where he's teamed up with Cody?
That's that Money in the Bank.
Okay. Oh, so Gunther is
So that's
be
the same
on
week, and
Raw.
that's the Raw after that.
Ah, got it. Okay.
I feel like I know Seth is going to want to go after it sooner or later.
Oh yeah.
With a
And
CM
him
Punk heel
and
turn, he could
Gunther-
easily go after it.
Him and
you know,
Gunther
so
had
def-
a confrontation.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, not a confrontation, face to face, backstage on Raw. Seth and Gunther.
Oh yeah.
So they're kind of throwing us all these different hints of stuff that looks like it's coming down the pipeline, and a possible babyface Gunther going up against
Baby Gunther.
angry baby.
Okay,
Gunther.
now I need to see Baby Gunther.
So please, somebody go to your AI app right now, and please have them
Do the-
AI
I need to
baby.
see Baby Gunther now.
Baby Ludwig
Gunther
Kaiser
top.
introducing him.
Yeah. Without a doubt, yeah, no. He had to be there.
Full blown Rugrat style.
But he's got to be like standing up on like a cinder block or not a cinder, like a table or something to like. I'm picturing it. Okay.
Oh, that's great. But yeah, I felt like the main event was a good main event.
Yeah,
but
it was short. It was very short.
Yeah, it was a setup to get Cody Rhodes' return on Saturday Night Main Event. And I just argue the idea of why isn't this a rematch from WrestleMania at Money in the Bank for the title, but instead we're getting a tag. Yeah, it's a waste of an appearance.
Yeah.
For John. Complete waste of an appearance.
Oh yeah.
By the way, BJ, I know you can hear me. I have you muted. Those were some weird sounds coming from back there.
That was my sink.
So what you're saying is you let that sink in.
Put me in catering.
No, because you
Let
requested
me in.
But yeah, and it's just weird. Like, I get Cody coming out to make the save. Like, everything made sense booking wise to get there, and then we get the tag team match. Like, unfortunately, I will be watching this, but it's a waste of a match to where that's the best you could give us at this moment. I mean, unless the unthinkable is going to happen, and Money in the Bank, the men's will be cashing in that night.
I don't know. I mean,
because you're putting John Cena.
Wouldn't be the first time.
It just would be interesting because Cena's not in a championship match. It's really opening up that door. Like, what if Logan Paul walks out on him during that match? Cody and Jay just have their way with Cena and leave him in a bad spot to be cashed in on.
Yeah, it could happen. But
imagine Jacob Fatu wins that Money in the Bank, because I'm already expecting him to qualify having a match this week, unless Solo turns on him. But you would think Solo would want him in that match at this point to have backup in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he could be on the card defending his title, though.
I mean, I agree, but I also believe that the mid-card champions deserve an opportunity at Money in the Bank.
Yeah, but they got to earn that.
No. I also stand by the idea that I feel like the Intercontinental and United States champions, if they choose to, can automatically be in Money in the Bank and get an opportunity because it's an 8-person match. It's a roll of the dice. There's no guarantee that they win. So just to have that opportunity, just like I think, hey, the mid-card champions and the NXT champions should automatically be in the Royal Rumble, regardless if they have a match or not on the card. You're the next champion down. Like, if you were to move up, you wouldn't be necessarily at the bottom of the ladder because you were just a champion.
Right. Makes sense.
There's like, if you were to look at like a power, look at it as like a power rankings type thing.
Right.
Like that, like, all right, Jacob Fatu drops the United States title, and you were to move him up into the WWE Championship division. He's not going to be at the bottom of the division, is he?
Yeah, why wouldn't he?
Why would he be? Why would he still not have that momentum to be able to jump over somebody like The Miz?
And,
why should
and see, that's the thing, like with WWE, like, there's no rules. They just make them up as they go. You know what I mean? Like, AEW tries to have like a statistic system, but that's not even like.
I mean,
AEW's tried to do that multiple times, and they've always failed with it.
And that's the thing, as Simon Miller would say, wrestling doesn't always have to make sense. It's a lot of the time it's just silly nonsense.
No. But I'm just saying, I'm looking at it from my perspective as like, okay, now I know he's going for this championship. He's no longer in that mid card. He's in that main event. I would still.
I'm just sick of seeing guys drop a minor title and then immediately challenging for the major title.
No. I don't think it should be immediate, but I would say they would be in the consideration of looking at it as,
you start giving them matches against those guys on the regular.
Yeah. And this, like, as an example, say it was Jacob Fatu and Gunther for the United States title, and Gunther beat him, but they had a battle of a match. Like, that was a match where neither guy necessarily gave up or whatever. And then it's like, oh, yeah, you know what? Since that happened, we're going to give you an opportunity to earn a championship. I'm not just talking about taking that person, oh, you just lost, so you get a top championship match. No, there has to be a win somewhere there in the middle before just being handed that. Now, there's just a difference if they do it as somebody coming out and challenging them. Like, if that person comes out, oh, I'm challenging you for that championship because I'm mad I lost the one I just had, then that's on the champion's fault for accepting the challenge.
Right.
It's like doing an open challenge. It's always a bad idea.
Yeah, I mean, unless, someone who's like really tiny comes out and you can easily just punt them.
Oh, God.
Like Snooki.
Yeah, so we've talked about the returns of Cody Rhodes and Bronson Reed.
Yes,
they were not the only returns this week. We had the return of Kairi Sane, as we kind of talked about.
Yep, with the Rhea Ripley match.
Great to see her back. It does seem like Damage Control is no more now. I think we kind of talked about that last week.
Well, Dakota's gone, so now it's just Io and Kairi.
Yeah, and Asuka whenever she returns. So I still feel like the group could still be there, but I wouldn't think it would be.
I don't think it would be
name.
Damage Control.
No, the name's gone.
Yeah, but you could get Kabuki Warriors back at some point.
And that could just be their name, expanded
the Sky Pirates.
Yeah.
The Sky Kabuki Warrior Pirates.
The Kabuki Pirates.
Kabuki Sky Pirates.
Sure.
Why not?
Look, we're still trying to figure out what happened to that AEW feed on Collision. All right. And also, Ryan Milky still feels disrespected by the YouTube comments.
He was disrespected by the YouTube comments about AEW's lack of collisions.
Also, just in case you didn't know, this is a Bruce Banner.
Boom.
You wouldn't like it when it's angry.
Yeah, it might turn green when it's angry. We don't know.
Yeah.
We haven't angered it yet.
Trying not to.
Which, by the way, we're going to be going to break shortly, I'm guessing, after we talk about returns.
Yeah,
Which-
we gotta be conscious of time. There's a lot of wrestling to watch tonight, and we
There
don't
is.
miss any of it.
And
Even tonight,
just real
still.
quick, want to give a shout out to a fellow wrestling creator, Ryan Milkey. One of our favorite people. He's been on the show. Just want to give a quick shout out. Go follow him here on Instagram and YouTube at Wrestle Realm.
Yeah, I had a
That's
great
really
time
good
calling
content.
I had a great time calling Stand and Deliver with him. He was great having on the show. We should definitely have him on at some point again.
You know, I just hope he gets past being disrespected by the YouTube comments. That's all.
I guess I should read them. I haven't looked at them all day.
No, he meant the
No.
comments made by John Cena about,
Oh,
a
Yeah.
YouTuber.
Oh, I see.
John Cena's
so you're
YouTuber
saying the same
comments,
thing
yes.
I said.
Yes.
I took offense to that too.
Yeah, you guys are on the same side.
100
Yeah,
YouTubers versus John Cena.
Now that we
I
talked
picked
about
Cena.
So even given the Zoe injury in that match, which I'm assuming Zoe was supposed to take the pinfall in that match.
That's what I heard. Yeah,
What did you think of how Kyrie looked in her return?
amazing.
Looked as good as ever.
No notes of ring rust. She looks like she's ready to go.
I
It
mean,
was just
and
a
I
hand
don't,
injury.
and I don't feel like her taking the pinfall in that match hurt her any.
I
I know
hope not.
you don't typically pin somebody in the return, but also when you see, like, everybody saw Zoe go down.
Yeah,
And that
we know
just-
why she took the pin.
Yeah.
Yeah. But on paper,
And then
It was
also,
fine.
not only did Roxanne Perez qualify for Money in the Bank, winning her match,
Mhm.
this seems like she's the new member of the Judgment Day.
I don't know about new member of the
Possibly.
Judgment Day.
But this is definitely getting. She brought Carlito a bag of apples, and she gave Dom some chicken nuggets.
Yeah, there was a little bit of jealousy
Yeah,
over
well, you
those
know what?
apples.
he likes
I wonder how
candy.
Liv felt. I like.
And Raquel was mean mugging the whole time.
Yeah, she was.
She's not going to be a part of Judgment Day if Raquel has anything to say about it.
Yeah, no,
I mean,
Raquel
Dom-
was
I
pissed about those apples she gave Carlito.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. That she's like, oh, Dom's good. Oh wait,
you're giving the guy
Oh,
I
you gave-
ignore for apples? No. I ignore Carlito, not you.
Oh man, I'm definitely interested to see where this whole thing goes with Roxanne Perez, because this could be a potential split of the Judgment Day, as a way to where I could see Liv, Raquel, and Dom going off and doing their own thing,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
then JD, Finn, and Roxanne on the other side, and Carlito just being stuck in the middle.
I don't know that Roxanne necessarily joins Finn and JD. I think Finn is kind of just using Roxanne right now.
Oh,
Yeah,
I mean,
Yeah, it doesn't seem like this has any legs to it.
no,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
if it, I'm just looking at it as if it does, this would.
And also, Carlito probably isn't going to be long term. We're not.
That's why I said
too much longer.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, because Carlito is the first odd person out.
And not just that,
He came
he's
back,
super old.
so.
And he doesn't really wrestle.
We've thought that since he came back, though, and he's still here.
Yeah,
There's just that little
Doctor-
element. There's that element that he adds to it. Like, he's basically the R-Truth of the group.
but you had an R-Truth.
R-Truth was a better R-Truth in the group.
That's true, but R-Truth had bigger and better to go on to, but they still needed an R-Truth of the group. So enter
Right.
Carlito.
Yeah, we speaking of Judgment Day, Finn Balor and JD beat Penta and AJ Styles after El Grande Americano attacked Penta from the crowd, which set up Finn to get the pin.
Yeah, they really shouldn't be throwing Starbucks drinks from the crowd.
Yeah, those are expensive drinks.
Yeah, right. A Grande Americano. Damn, how much does that cost? $10 now.
And then announced for Raw this next week so far, we get Rusev versus Tozawa. Boy, poor Tozawa.
All right, Pete Tozawa.
He wants this.
He does, but all right, Pete Tozawa.
I think this is we get a triple threat. I think it's a triple threat World Tag Team Championship match with the New Day, the War Raiders, and the Creed Brothers.
Yep.
I like it.
Fully expect the New Day to walk out with still champs.
Oh, yeah.
You know what? I wouldn't mind seeing this a big swerve and you put those titles on the Creeds.
That would be the one other acceptable way to end that match. But no
Like,
more
let
War
the
Raiders championships right now. Give them a
War
rest for a
Or
bit.
Valhalla returns and costs it helps the War Raiders win.
I mean,
Yeah, but she's not Valhalla anymore because the antlers don't really work with the gimmick they're trying to go with now.
Well,
So she
no,
has the antlers on a biker helmet.
but that is Viking mythology. That was
but the War Raiders aren't Vikings anymore.
They're not Vikings. They're bikers now.
Yeah, so I mean, she could just gift the antlers to Cole, and he just has to wear them every time they wrestle.
You know what? I wouldn't mind.
So she'll be Sarah Logan again.
Yes.
If they want to continue this New Day War Raiders feud and just taking the titles out of it, might give the feud a little bit more on it. If they want to continue that route,
I don't think that's where they're going.
I mean, I don't see any real direction for any of the teams outside the moment. Maybe besides the Creeds working their way up.
Well, remember, they can use the New Days in singles action too, and you know what I mean. Like the New Day, they can work as singles. They don't have to be in the tag division.
I know, but that's how they've always been. Because if they go to being singles, you should have just broke them up. Should have just had the whole thing finally implode. Instead,
I want to see a heel Woods title run with Kofi managing it. I would love nothing more than to see that.
That'd be interesting. Work. But yeah, I think it's a good time for us to take a break here. Get some footage from a match that happened at the SPO Silver Anniversary show with Post Game versus the Cream World Order. Boy.
Bronson, go! Here we go for the back.
Guys, come here! Yo, come here! Hold his hand!
So he can do his job.
And we're back.
Hey, so what's that logo we're seeing right there?
That logo right
What's
there,
that graphic?
that was for the Pro Wrestling Star Academy opening up this summer in Mount Holly, New Jersey. Limited spots available. Send some direct messages at SPO Wrestling to get some information there if you're interested. Every aspect of pro wrestling they're going to be covering, from obviously being a wrestler, being a referee, backstage production, anything in between. Probably not catering.
Manager, marketing, maybe catering, social media, all that stuff. And more.
And, to stay up on all that news, just follow SPO Wrestling at SPO Wrestling. Instagram, X, YouTube, and Facebook.
There you go.
And also following us definitely helps too, because anything they announce, we usually cover.
That we do. All right, gentlemen.
Shall we continue?
We shall.
All right. Where are we heading next? Steer the ship, Captain.
Let's see. What do we have? We had Julia on SmackDown this week, qualified for Money in the Bank, as we said earlier. That was actually not a bad match. Considering that with Charlotte in it, we all just, automatically assume Charlotte's going to win.
Yeah, Charlotte walking around backstage afterwards, getting some shade from the other wrestlers too.
And that's why I love this era of WWE. They're acknowledging that the fans don't want Charlotte Flair shoved down their throat, for example. They're seeing things and they're changing things that like I said, it's hard to predict in this era.
Yeah.
We've been in a Vince McMahon era for so long that I'm still not completely programmed for I get surprised more often than usual. Not just that, you don't see as many spoilers.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially for a lot of that. WWE and what news we get is either minor stuff or it's something that they're leaking to swerve everybody.
Yeah. But I mean, the Cena heel turn nobody saw coming.
Well, one guy might have.
I mean, we all speculated, though.
Okay, maybe 2% of wrestling fans, but there were no spoilers, is what I'm saying. There was nothing.
There were no spoilers out there about it.
That saying 100% it's a heel turn. They're just that. Hey, this has been talked about. This has been talked about.
Yeah,
and that's what I'm saying. I'm not used to this era yet. I'm used to it being a little more obvious and the media sources knowing a lot more.
What do you see next for Charlotte Flair now? She didn't qualify for Money in the Bank. She's lost her last championship opportunity.
I think she needs to go to LFG.
Wow.
Sure.
Not as a coach, but as to actually compete and see if she's relevant in the business and if she can handle these young girls now.
Well, hey, how about if you were to bump her down to NXT almost as a player coach type of thing?
That's too high for her.
To evolve with you.
Wow, just wow.
You're going to strap the speed championship on her?
LFG's is for future legends and future greats. She's already there. We're just tired of the spiel as we got with John Cena back in the day. If you want to talk about anybody that's gotten the John Cena playbook for the women, it was Charlotte Flair. Just not as a baby, just not in a baby face, but just being at the top of the card and her position on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, sure. If that match was on LFG, it would have been good. It was fine otherwise.
Yeah, I don't.
I've been fired. Later, guys.
Let's keep wrestling Flair free.
That's just what he thought it meant. He didn't mean you're fired. Eddie, what's up?
Hey, what's up, Eddie?
Oh, Bruce Banner's back.
You wouldn't like Danger Ginger when he's angry. He turns even more orange.
Yeah. He sometimes might tend to, go off the rails like a siren or something. You never know what kind of ranting and raving he might do.
You never know.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up, Tommy? What's up, JP? How you doing?
Nice of you to stop by.
Let's talk about that.
Talk about that? Which that?
Let's talk about that clip that was on a certain botch. No. Wrestling Gets Real this week.
Yes, with Tommy
I know
and
it's been
JP.
covered on Spokecast and it's been covered to death, but we haven't talked about it.
It's been covered by other sources.
Just a real
Tommy
quick
and JP, the
aside.
Backseat Boys. Yeah, what
Just a
happens
real
when a
quick
fan comes
aside.
in the ring?
I know that. Yeah, as a fan, don't ever cross. You're not supposed to be there. You don't.
You're there
that.
to be entertained.
Get in the ring. These guys aren't going to let you have a chance to do anything.
These guys are in better shape than you. They are trained better than you.
Yes.
And they are already pumped up and full of adrenaline and ready for you. You know what? You don't.
And if you want to see what we're talking about, what was it? The most recent episode? One of the last couple episodes? I think it was this week's episode.
Well, it was the most recent Wrestling Gets Real.
Yes, Wrestling Gets Real.
It's
also on JCW. It's also been on a bunch of different wrestling news sites.
Well, I'm just saying, if you want to see the show itself that it happened on, it would be JCW Lunacy.
Yes, it was JCW Lunacy.
And if you would like to hear Tommy talk about it, that's on the Spokecast.
Yes, live from the horse's mouth.
But just as a wrestling fan,
don't be that guy.
Scream my head off, and I will get in the face of any wrestler. I know where the line is. Okay,
yeah. The line is in my seat.
and so apparently they were in the hometown of the Backseat's opponents.
Yes.
And they have a huge following there. Okay, fine. Guys, hate to say it, man. You know this isn't real, right?
It's a script.
Sorry to break the fourth wall, man, but
just pull the curtain back. Hey, everybody,
just go full Deadpool.
These guys all hang out
single-handedly.
Backstage, these guys are all hanging out. These guys are all going to bars together because of a story that somebody wrote. This little face-painted little freak. I wouldn't even call him a juggalo. He's not even. He's not a juggalo. He's just a freaking clown. Okay.
He decides
to run in. He decides to run in on our good friends Tommy and JP.
Dumb.
99% of the time, it's not going to end well. Best case scenario, you get a situation like with Raven in WCW, where you manage to get him out of the ring and actually look good a little bit.
Yeah.
This was not what happened.
The guy with Eddie.
You don't ever jump that guardrail and try to go in the ring. Apparently, the guy had apparently he had a few too many to drink, and
the guy's mother took him to the show, and she was embarrassed for him after she was talking to everybody afterwards. She was like, "I'm glad that you did that to him. He deserved it."
As a certain hockey coach in Letterkenny would say, effing embarrassing, and then kick a trash can.
Yep.
Yeah. And absolutely watch the JCW clip on Triller. The promos that were cut afterwards were hilarious, but at the same time, never do that.
Never do it.
No.
Never. Tommy and JP will destroy you.
And they're not the biggest wrestlers you could encounter.
They're not the biggest guys.
Well, since we're talking about tag teams, how about that tag team championship match from this week on SmackDown? Fraxium and the Street Profits. Before we get into
Let's talk about the actual match.
Actual match before we get without talking the finish and what happened. The match itself was
a good
great
match.
tag team match.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say we should talk about that match on Collision, that tag team match, but
What tag team
Never
match on
mind.
Collision? There were no tag team matches on Collision.
you know, not this past week, but the week before.
Yeah, that never happened.
We are still on the search, people. When we find it, we will let you know.
It was a dark match, apparently.
We have our entire staff on it.
Videos being kept in Area 51.
No,
It's in the It's in the AEW vault, Right next
AKA
to
the
the video.
basement of the Jaguar
Right next to-
Stadium.
right next to the video of the Young Bucks and CM Punk incident with Kenny Omega and the dog. And
yes.
okay, I'm sorry,
man.
derail. Let's go.
That
But
is why people follow us.
Braxium and the Street Profits.
Yes.
Before we talk about how the match finishes, the match itself before everything happens was an absolutely banger of a match, and
Amazing.
I want to see it again.
Absolutely, but we're not going to.
Oh, I think we will, but maybe just not just for a while. I think that something will swing back around for it.
The Profits will deny them the rematch immediately, and they'll get lost in the shuffle for a bit.
Yeah, or one could get moved.
I think
draft that's coming.
Eventually, allegedly,
the unannounced draft that we
speculate about.
Yes, on a weekly basis, because it's kind of like, hey, know what that means? We feel like there needs to be a little bit of a shakeup in the rosters a little bit so that we can get some fresh matchups or matchups we haven't seen in a while.
Mm-hmm.
Since I've gotten WWE 2K25, I'll simulate for a year and then do it and do a draft myself and just you know what I mean? See what matchups I can come up with.
I'll usually in 2K, I'll go to SummerSlam and I'll do a couple trades and shift things around just slightly to alter certain things. And then once I finish that calendar year, but whatever the last show is after WrestleMania now, it's like an NXT show or something.
Yeah, yeah.
And once I get past that, I'll reshift my entire rosters around a little bit. Because I have five shows to shift around. So
and then your game plays wonky for 4 weeks of gameplay.
I mean, my favorite thing about doing it in the game though is that you see managers and people who are friends appearing on the other show. So no matter what, even if they're not actually wrestling on the show, they'll still be in the corner of somebody.
See, that's the thing. Whenever, and this is so nerdy, and we shouldn't be talking about this right now. But whenever,
video games, sure.
And it's wrestling video game.
Whenever I'm in that situation, I am very quick to delete all managers of people on other shows. Like, if you're not on that show, you're not on that show. Get to your own show. Get out of that person's corner. Go to your own show.
Get to your side.
Exactly. Even WWE now allows their people to go other places. Natalia.
I know, but I hate that.
Amazing match at the 2300.
I've talked about this many times. It should be two completely separate brands.
When it comes to within the WWE umbrella, I wish it was more like the early and mid 2000s when they did the original one. And
no wild card rule. None of that nonsense.
I mean, don't get it wrong. We still had crossover, but it was very
Survivor Series was the big crossover of the year.
And that's the one time a year besides WrestleMania. Maybe at the big four, but that's the one time a year that they all go head to head.
No, but and then you had the occasions where it was like, oh, I have an open challenge going. Well, excuse me, or something like that, and you would randomly get that
someone
really
from the other show.
The low mid-card SmackDown guy come out because they're trying to push him a little bit So, you have them come out just to do this. Or, like, you'd have something big. It was like, oh, I had to go out of my way to find my tag team partner this week, who is the World Heavyweight or the WWE Champion on SmackDown for a special one-night only deal. They explained it, and then it didn't happen again. Or it would get revisited as something like bragging rights or like Survivor Series. Like, oh, yeah, remember when you were talking crap to me that and you beat me or whatever? Now it's my turn to get one up on you.
Yep.
But yeah, for Axiom Street Profits, a heck of a match. And then the lights go out.
With noises
hold on,
going
here we
along
go.
with the lights going out.
I can't reach that. But
Yeah.
where's my phone? I was gonna hold up the
Firefly. So yeah, and then when the lights came back on, Scary Ginger's in the ring.
Yeah, the lights come back on, and we have the Wyatt 6 in the ring. And all right, just real quick as a side note, because the lights go out and Montez Ford is up on the top rope. And the lights come back on there, and he's just standing there.
Yep. Yeah, just crosses himself.
I popped just for that. He's always in the moment.
Yep. Yeah.
And he's just like, I'm already here.
Yep.
God help me. Let's go.
And by the way, both Angelo Dawkins and Montez Ford need a singles push at some point. But I don't want to see them break up. I would love to see them like New Day, like supporting each other's singles pushes kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, as long as nobody's neck gets broken and teams have to split up,
Well, that's the other guy. That's B-Fab.
But yeah, we get to
Bobby Lashley.
Well, he's off thinking about Sable while he's in AEW.
Oh.
I just reminded myself. We still have to talk about that.
And so SmackDown was also Bray Wyatt's birthday, which the Wyatts had returned before on his birthday. They had the birthday cake in the ring after they decimate everybody at ringside. No murders, no attempted murders reported this time, and Chad Gable was safe since he's on Raw.
Nobody got a cake to the face.
Yeah, what was up for that?
Well, hold on. That cake was for Bray.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So who are you going to hit him in the face with him?
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
And like we were talking about before, I would love for Bo Dallas to have a match with Cena somewhere at some point down the line. And since anybody that's watched the Bray Wyatt documentary from last year, or has even played WWE 2K the last 2 years, there's a new version of the Fiend costume that was made for Bray for when he returned for the rebirth, for when he was going to return as a rebirth for the Fiend. I would love, just for a one night only thing, kind of like how Balor has the demon. What if Bo Dallas had occasional access to the Fiend? Because like I said, it always felt like an alter ego, or just a one night only thing where Uncle Howdy wears that costume and just it's kind of like embracing that aura one last time so that we get to see the costume, because we know that. And
they could do it without Cena having to actually appear if they just do another cinematic match.
Yeah.
I mean, or even if it is a match, hey, Cena will figure out they can figure out a way to keep the belt on him,
Well, he doesn't have to burn an appearance, is what I mean.
No,
I think it would still count as an appearance. Anytime he's on the camera.
Unless John Cena turns face at the very end and says, remember that one appearance that was the cinematic thing? Well, or they have a GM come out. Yeah, remember that cinematic match you did?
Doesn't count.
Bad news. That didn't count, buddy.
So Wade Barrett's delivering the news?
I would love for that to happen. Oh my God, I would love that. But yeah, I would love somewhere maybe even though I know a lot of people are probably still going to be on the road of a Cody Cena at SummerSlam, a Bo Dallas, and that embracing like we got like that Fiend like character in a new costume, so it's not the same one. You know, the one we would have fully identified with Bray. You know, and they're going to use this whole supernatural thing.
Right.
You know, like, hey, if you're going to tell me Finn Balor has the demon as an alter ego that he can tap into,
then
Bray Wyatt was Bray Wyatt and then also the Fiend.
Yeah.
The Fiend was something different. So what if the Fiend is like a supernatural thing and Bo Dallas just learned how to tap into that? Or the spirit went to him.
Yeah, that works.
Because we already know within storyline that Bo Dallas and Uncle Howdy are one and the same person.
Right.
So even within storylines,
with the videos that we saw,
you know, you could start kind of showing them again.
Yep. I fully expect that to start up.
You know, like or videos like that start showing a darker side. You know, it's like just flashes of red.
Yep.
Something that just would make you think Fiend. Because then even at that point, what if that's how you pull Alexa Bliss back in?
Okay, then.
You know, like pulling Alexa Bliss back in like that would be very interesting. Like whatever that Fiend entity is, has her come back to manage that version of Bo Dallas.
Yeah.
So, you know, just hypothetical things. I'm very interested to see where it goes from here because there's no clear direction. I think Cena's a likely target at some point.
I hope so.
I think Alexa Bliss could be a target because they could take offense that she still represents Bray.
Right.
And she's not a member at the moment.
Right.
Well, we don't know. Like, they're the Wyatt 6. She could be the one pulling the strings behind the scenes.
Potentially.
Yeah.
But it's been like just Bray as the 6th.
No, but
spiritual.
They think about that at the moment, though. Like, and number one, it's not the Wyatt face. It's not the Wyatt 6.
Oh, okay. Sour. 6. The sour is really hitting.
You know, so it's not the number. But
I know. I'm just doing a devil's advocate kind of thing, you know.
No. But it's more the idea that would be interesting because the last couple of weeks, the interactions with her and Charlotte, it seems like she is trying to orchestrate something. And that could swing back around to maybe she knew they were coming back.
Oh my God. This might not make any sense to anyone but me. But Alexa is Darth Jar Jar.
Please. No, wait. I want to hear this before he's sent to catering. All right, what do you got, BJ?
So you've heard the Darth Jar Jar theory, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I actually have a Darth Jar Jar Lego minifig.
So Alexa's the person that everybody thinks is a part of the Wyatt 6, right? But she's just going about her thing. Oh, yeah, this is my old friend, and this is my doll, because that has nothing to do with Bray Wyatt. This is just me being crazy. You know what I mean? And that's the Jar Jar aspect of her. And you know what I mean? I don't know. I didn't really think this through beforehand, but...
And now he goes to kidding because he didn't have a coherent thought to continue on that asinine conversation that was being had. Don't do it.
We've got security. No. Like, everyone thinks she's going to be involved.
Right.
So don't give them that. You know what I mean? Keep it like
I mean, I wouldn't mind for it to be her against them. Like, I'm
Yeah.
perfectly okay with that. I'm fine. I just think there's going to be a story there. Otherwise, you wouldn't have her coming out in the Bray
In the
Wyatt
Bray
Education
stuff.
gear outside of her return. And
I
it's the
wanna see-
ongoing.
I would love to see her teased as being involved for the next year, but never like being in the same space as them. And then like a year from now, just have her be like, "Yeah, I am the one who's orchestrated all of this."
No. We all know when it comes down to it that's how Vince will return, and it's been him all along being the higher power. So
no. Vince is El Grande Americano, dude.
Anyway,
I'm dead.
here, Chef, you can go to catering for a minute and get yourself back together. I think you killed Chef. We ref down. Our ref is down, people. We have a backup ref. For the love of God. Just real quick, also, in an upset, what I thought was an upset. LA Knight of how he qualified for Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
Shinsuke and Aleister Black.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
I don't. If you asked me this last year or 2 years ago, I would have said LA Knight's a favorite to win that briefcase. I don't think he is now.
No. He's the guy who gets the pops but never gets there.
Oh, so
he works better as a heel.
Hey, Eli Drake.
I agree with that.
Yes.
I would love.
Look, Drake. Yeah.
Dummy.
He's got
that's what, dude.
Yeah.
Dude, I loved those. I wasn't watching Impact or TNA, whatever, at that time. But when I would see like that stuff on YouTube,
clips, yeah,
I had to watch them.
That's all I watched. I wasn't even watching WWE back then. It was just Impact.
All right. So just real quick now, because we're on the back half of everything now.
Yeah.
Boy, tonight we have NXT Battleground.
Yep.
And AEW Double or Nothing.
All right, so we're making some picks.
We have,
that was
I
impressive,
would love,
dude.
Just real, yeah.
That snuck out.
Look, that's a case. Look, that you just disrespected all our viewers with that burp. Viewers, it is your call if he goes. If anybody is even watching, because I don't.
Listen, I'll have you know, on my other channel, I have people who watch just for the burps.
Just like Rick and Morty.
No. Oh, see, that's new Rick and Morty.
But they're not doing speed.
Yes, tonight at 11. So yeah, that's something
else
that we need to watch.
Adult Swim.
Already got my DVR set because there's wrestling to watch.
But yeah, just real quick as well. TNA Under Siege this Friday night. I had that on the same time I was watching SmackDown. That was a spectacular show.
I still have to go back and watch that.
So I figured as much. A couple big things from that show, but nothing like over the top big. Just
right.
You know, we kind of see the course of the way
the
story going.
Any WWE appearances?
Trick Williams in the main event.
Cool.
It was Trick Williams and Frankie Kazarian versus Elijah and Joe Hendry.
Oh, but that was announced.
Yeah.
No, there was no unannounced. No unannounced. No surprise. That doesn't surprise me because it's not really a pay-per-view.
Got fired, so we don't have the Meta Girls anymore.
I mean, it was also one of those random Friday specials more than a pay-per-view.
Right. I got you.
Tonight could be different.
We've got big crossover tonight.
So yeah.
So are we going to do some predictions here?
we kind of ran through them last week, but we can see if we still feel the same way about what's coming up. Because I think
the predictions
there
I
was
have
a match-
listed are
Yeah.
backlash predictions. So I don't have
Oh.
any double or nothing predictions or battleground predictions written down for us.
Double or
Yeah, we
nothing,
didn't do those.
it's going to go off by like 1 a.m.
We hope.
Yeah, because we got
5 a.m. later, Tony Schiavone's like
Well,
just
I
dead on
will
the
be
mic.
watching
Excalibur.
NXT and then going to bed.
Schiavone, Tony Schiavone.
Yes.
I have to work on the holiday, so I'm going to watch NXT and then go to bed.
Oh, as do I. As do we all.
I
We all
half
work
day, but
tomorrow.
Still,
Yeah, so do we.
Yeah,
But
usually
still.
we're off on Mondays.
Yeah,
I'm
we're
not.
not even supposed to be
So
there
this
tomorrow.
is good for me, but I did have to work Saturday, which usually I'm off, but I only had a half day.
But all right, so
yeah.
we'll start with NXT.
All right, NXT Battleground starting off.
Give me one. Just the first match we can talk about: Hank Walker and Tank Ledger with Josh Briggs versus the Calling. That looks like it's going to be Briggs' old tag team partner,
Yeah,
Sean Spears,
Jensen,
and
Spears, and the third guy.
yeah, that third guy.
Who is that third guy? I know this.
I forget
Lance.
what his name is.
Vance, Nico Vance, right?
Nico Vance? Could
Is
be.
that his name?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
I'm
All
like
right,
85% sure it's Nico Vance, but I'm willing to look it up.
All right.
You know, hold on. I just clicked on the thing to see. Nico Vance. Yes.
There we go. BJ
I
was
would
right.
watch NXT.
All right, so as
I'm
far
taking
as-
the Calling.
you're taking the Calling. All right.
Yep.
I am going to take Hank and Tank and Briggs.
I can't bet against Hank and Tank.
So you're picking Hank and Tank as well, BJ?
Yeah.
All right. All right, so 2-1.
Yeah, I feel like the Calling picks up this win. You know, we get the
I mean, I can
storyline.
see it, but-
continuing. You know, with them leading up to a tag team title shot, because
Mhm.
if
And
the
then-
non-champs don't pick up a pinfall victory over one of the two tag champions, you know, Hank and Tank are still green, and you got Sean Spears, who is a veteran.
Mm-hmm.
He's not just a developmental. He's there helping build.
Plus, you do have Briggs is emotionally like in a weird spot after his boy went back over to Japan. So
Yeah.
So 'cause we'll see what happens. He could just completely break down, and he could even turn in the middle of this match and join the Calling. That's something that could happen. I could see happening.
Yeah.
I
Brooks
agree.
and,
I had
and
that
Riggs
thought.
could reunite. Or Brooks
Yeah.
Jensen and what am I saying? I can never get their name. Josh Briggs and Brooks
Josh
Jensen.
Briggs, yeah, because they used to be a
Could
pretty good tag team in their own right when they were together.
And then Fallon Henley will come out.
She got her own thing going with the whole Mean Girls clique.
But yeah, I could see that happening. I had thoughts that maybe he turns and actually joins, and then we get him and his old partner back together again.
Yeah. and
Like
then they go
that
for
was
the
something.
tag Yeah, then they go for the tag belts against Hank and Tank. Take them off them.
In a triple threat with Sean
yeah.
Spears and Nico Vance.
But Briggs and Jensen would still both be part of the Calling, I think. I think they would bring Briggs into the Calling.
I would love to see them turn and go on their own.
Yeah, so
I think Jensen's
Like
in.
hey, remember what we used to do kind of thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but I
but,
think
you know,
Jensen
that's-
is in. Like Jensen is in. the
Yeah,
Calling.
yeah, you're right.
And also, it goes to a point to where for Sean Spears, it's not about championships for him personally. He has said it's about elevating
Right.
those that he has under him. So getting
Right.
them back together, and now we get a meaner, tougher version of them, and not the cowboy version or whatever it was before.
Yeah, and then he sends Nico Vance after the North American title,
Yeah,
something like
and
that.
Izzy Dame or whatever can go for the women's
North American.
championship.
Yeah, he already said that she's his next project that he's like focused on.
Which,
Like,
speaking of the women's North American Championship, we have Sol Ruka defending against Kalani Jordan, who earned her championship victory this past week with a win over Zarya.
Yep. So, yeah, Kalani's been on that little nasty tear since she had her little personality shift. So, I will take this one first because I do think Kalani wins this belt and takes that North American title off of Sol Ruka. She's been, like I said, a little more vicious streak to her, and I think that takes her over the top here.
I don't know. I don't see Kalani winning. I think that even with a loss, that this is to really get Sol Ruka over, beating the first champion. And then you can kind of move Kalani up with Lola Vice to start helping rebuild the top of the card. Because it's kind of what they did. Yeah, I feel like it would make the most sense.
And that's my thought. Like, which one of these ladies deserves the top of the card more?
And right
Kalani
now,
Jordan.
And it would be a lot to see if she can even hang at that point because ever since she got that push and won that championship, she's kind of hasn't really done much.
She plateaued.
On. Yeah. I'm not sold on Sol Ruka neither in the long term.
But you think she holds on to the belt tonight?
Yeah.
All right.
The only thing I could see as maybe a shift in something is if maybe we get a Zarya heel turn after the match.
Or during the match.
If that happens, then I definitely see Kalani winning. But I think it would be more Zarya wants the next title shot.
Makes more sense, yeah.
And at this point, they're not doing really anything else. They're not going to get a tag team championship match again anytime soon.
No.
So.
All right, BJ, break the tie.
This is a coin flip for me. You've both
not a very good
interesting points. You've both presented interesting points. I'm gonna go Sol Ruka.
Okay.
Just because I think, like DG said, Kalani Jordan is the most likely to be elevated, and Sol Ruka is fine staying where she is. She's not there yet.
Gives her room to grow still, and you're not forcing her into a situation that she's
while keeping the spotlight on her in a sense and having gold on.
Yeah, and Kalani Jordan could also float over to TNA for maybe a couple weeks.
Yeah, why not? Give her some matches over there.
Yeah,
that works.
Just to get reps.
Yeah.
So the next match I want to talk about, I'm kind of skipping the order they have on WWE.com, so I want to talk about both title matches back to back. Tony D'Angelo and Channing Stacks Lorenzo. The family is imploding.
Yeah.
Is anyone announced? Is Luca going to be there?
Nobody knows where Luca is right now, if he's even alive or whatever.
So
we're going to see them. It just depends on who they align themselves with.
I think that, in all honesty, Stacks has everybody behind him. Luca will return and be the reason that Tony D loses, and Channing is that Stacks essentially takes control.
Yeah, that's pretty much exactly the way I'm seeing this one too.
I also think that Tony is on his way to the main roster.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
He doesn't need an NXT championship reign.
Nah.
You know, like I would love to see him and Oba one more time in NXT before that happens, but I'm okay if it doesn't because that just builds it up for me to see it on the main roster eventually.
Right. BJ, you also taking Stacks?
I don't know if things are gonna end up happening exactly that way. I'm gonna go Tony D.
Oh, all right.
I could see.
I respect your opinion, but you're wrong.
Well, was
No,
this
you were
event
saying-
pre-taped or something?
So you think Tony keeps it or wins this one, keeps more control?
I think he gets the dub. Maybe we get a situation where Rizzo sides with Stacks, and then Luca is with Tony, and we get like something. I don't know.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll see. 2 votes to 1 for Stacks.
Or
But
imagine this situation:
But
neither
wait,
of them
there's
return.
more.
Neither of
Uh-huh.
them return. Neither of them are involved in the match at all. What happens then?
if neither of them is involved, I still think Stacks.
Yeah,
Okay. I still
I-
think Tony.
Okay.
my whole reason for picking Stacks, who would know Tony's tricks better than
His underboss.
Stacks? Yeah. Like we've
Yep.
seen it in mob movies, right? The guy that's the underdog who knows basically everything, the
Mhm.
right hand man.
Yep.
You know, they eventually take over, right?
Mhm.
Roman stepped aside, and Solo took over, became the tribal chief just because he had the Ulafalo.
Yep.
You know, like we've seen stories like this in a lot of different forms play out like this. I feel like it's a good logical step, especially if there's nothing else left for Tony D'Angelo to do in that spot. Like imagine this. Say they do add one more member to the Heyman and Seth group.
Mhm.
What if it's Tony D'Angelo repackaged? He's on his own now.
Interesting. You don't see that?
Nah.
I mean, I think that once he gets out, because after this, how much further does this gimmick have to go? Like that personality aside, keeping the personality, but like the mob boss mentality gimmick, especially if he has nobody behind him. Just like Roman being the only reason Roman can still be called tribal chief is because of the family, not necessarily because of the bloodline group.
Well, when Tony came into NXT, he was solo. He didn't have Stacks and remember Two Dimes, that guy. So those two,
that he
brought them
murdered.
in.
I mean, he was still the Don, but he's not.
He
the
was
Don
the
of
Don,
anything.
but
He's not the Don of anything no more.
he
Just like there was a
still
time, just like now, Roman's a chief with no tribe and no wise man. Everybody he's had at his side left him. He's standing alone now.
But he's still
He
the
shows
OTC.
up like once a year. Like you know, like we don't need to talk about it.
No, but it fits the example. What we don't need to talk about is certain things that happen. You want to know why New Orleans or WrestleMania was pulled for New Orleans? Because Brock Lesnar ended the Undertaker streak there. It's so devastating. We can't
It's a
have
punishment.
Yeah. But all right. So, what would you like to talk about next? The TNA World Championship match or the NXT Championship match?
I feel like the NXT Championship match is the main event of the card overall.
I don't think it is. I think that me personally, I think Hendry and Trick get the main event.
I feel that's the bigger match.
It's gotten more TV time.
But
And that's not even including
But do you
TNA.
really want to not have your belt as the last thing that people see on
Do
your
you want the
broadcast?
guy who? But it's also this could also be Trick Williams' last match in NXT.
Right. So,
And at
but
this point, if it's going to be his last match, and it's good business to do for TNA. It's really good
Is
business.
it for the belt?
Yes.
both of these are for belts. Yeah.
Both of these are like, what's the bigger match? Oba Femi versus Miles Bourne? Or
In the
Joe
context of
Hendry?
NXT.
Or
The bigger match, yes. Bigger match
so-
overall, Joe Hendry versus Trick. But
so
in the
that's your main
context
event.
of the NXT world title picture, the bigger
It's
match
the
has
NXT
to be
The NXT championship also isn't a world championship.
the NXT World Championship is a world
They
championship. It's
do
the NXT
not
World
call
Championship.
No,
They
it's
just call it the NXT Championship. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, they changed
All
that a
right.
few years ago.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
And you
All
can,
right, so then-
you're privileged to challenge for it like a Royal Rumble winner, like Charlotte did, or you could
Mm-hmm.
use Money in the Bank to cash in for it. But why would you?
Right. Okay. All right. I did not realize that subtle difference there.
I'm looking at overall. If you're looking at who are you, the most people are you going to hit with just this match?
Right. It's going to be Joe Hendry
and Trick Williams.
You know what? Having that subtle difference in it not being world title, just being NXT championship, I think I'm now aligned with you, and I think that is the match, and that comes before, and then the TNA title.
If Oba had a more prestigious opponent, maybe that would main event.
That's where I'm at. Just looking at
maybe that's part of why Miles Bourne gets this title shot.
Yeah, and it's still not a bad position to be in. I think.
Oh, not at all.
I could see the NXT Championship opening this show just because the TNA title could main event it.
Yeah, that's a good point.
The WWE does that. You start off.
Yeah, I mean, Jimmy Uso's opened up, or not Jimmy, Jay opened up with a title defense at Backlash.
Yeah.
So Oba retains.
That's just how you do it.
Yes. So Oba retains. Yes.
Yes. I like. The discussion of what match to discuss is going to be longer than us getting our picks because I also
that was our discussion of who's going to win that. So Oba retains.
Yeah. So Oba retains.
And we're going. I guess I'll have to start quick firing off the Double or Nothing matches after the Joe Hendry match discussion here.
All right.
Well,
so yeah,
but we have something first.
We do.
Let's just finish this segment.
Okay.
And then for the first time ever, the TNA World Championship will be defended on a WWE PLE, which is another reason why this is a historic moment.
Yeah.
For it to be the main event, as Joe Hendry will be defending that championship against Trick Williams. Whoa.
Well, I guess y'all can read on my chest who I think is going to win this one. I'm going with Joe Hendry. And, I just do not see him losing this belt. I think, this is not the belt. Trick Williams isn't the guy to take the belt away and bring it over to WWE. I don't think this is the time for a belt to cross quite yet, but I think it's going to be a good match. And afterwards, Trick Williams is probably headed towards the main roster. Yes, I do believe. I do believe in Joe Hendry.
My pick right here, if it hasn't been obvious, Joe Hendry. I finally have a use for this thing. Thank you to my president.
I would love to see the opposite happen and Trick be the TNA champion and, have a little run. But, yeah, he's main roster bound and no one's taking that belt off Joe Hendry right now.
How much I agree with you. I think Trick Williams would be completely worthy of setting up something like that.
Oh, yeah.
But right now, like the idea of what we want, a Worlds Collide event, which I think might have been already in the plans until they bought AAA and they shifted over to that idea instead. But I would still love for TNA to somehow be involved in that.
Oh yeah.
Is Alberto Del Rio going to be appearing?
No. No.
He's the host.
That got him sent to catering.
Go eat a zebra cake.
$1.50, please. Thank you.
So
But
yeah,
yeah, so-
a really loud motorcycle went by when you put me in catering, so it actually like works out. You would have heard that.
Perfect.
It would've been weird.
Darn!
So before we get to
To the quick fire segment.
yes, I just want to say we hurt people.
We hurt people.
Oh wow, yes. That was another thing which, because of all the other
We hurt
conversation.
people.
We hurt people.
MJF is officially a member of the Hurt Business. I am how little time we do have. I am looking forward to this. And
Yeah.
when the story goes, I have to give credit. I really thought that this would be the opportunity to insert somebody else into this.
Who was
But-
the only one who said he was going to get in last week?
Hey, it's all good. It's all good. Because, again, I just didn't think that they would stretch it out. But then I guess you have a lifeline on Tony Khan there. Just real
I
quick.
expected chicanery.
Yeah. Just real quick. You guys got a match of the week?
Sure.
For me, the WWE Tag Team Championship match with the Wyatt 6 return at the end, I already felt like it was match of the week before that.
All right. For me personally, my match of the week was John Cena versus Ron Cena. I just thought that was a fun match. That was just a fun match. It was exactly what I expected it to be, exactly what I wanted out of it. And yeah, that's my match of the week. John Cena versus Ron Cena.
BJ's doing some research there to figure out if he has a match of the week, I see.
Either that or he's looking up entrance music.
Some type of lifeline. He's texting a lifeline. Hey man, what was your match
What
of the
was
week?
my match of the week?
Hey Siri, give me my match of the week.
No, I was just running down the cards of I was running down the AEW card because I really like that 6-man tag, but I was thinking there has to be something better.
No,
know,
man, if you
honestly,
really
that-
liked it, then
Yeah.
Honestly, that like tag team championship match with the Wyatt 6 returning, like I saw a lot of good wrestling this week. That was amazing wrestling, and then you throw my absolute favorites in. Sure.
there you go. All right, so rapid
All right,
fire
just-
on the double or nothing picks time.
Just hold on real quick. I want to give a shout out to another wrestling page, Buzzing
Shout
with
away.
Marlo.
Buzzing with Marlo.
Yes.
Bzzz.
You can see there where to find them at Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube, and I think that said Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
Go give them a
All
like
right.
and follow. Tell BJ and DG Talk Wrestling sent you. Or else.
Where else? What? What'd I do? I didn't do nothing. Tis.
All right.
All right.
AEW. AEW
Oh my
double.
God,
or
there's
nothing.
11 matches.
Yeah.
And we are going
Yeah.
to quick fire these things. So get ready
Yep.
and let's go. Starting
Boom,
off
boom, boom.
with the buy-in matches.
All right.
Our Roppongi Vice or RPG Vice and Crew versus Bandito, AR Fox and Los Titans Del Air. I don't know. I'm taking the team that AR Fox is not on because AR Fox never wins. Or
So
he's a
Titanes,
crook.
Los Titanes Del Air or Roppongi Vice?
Roppongi Vice and Crew. I have them for that win.
Okay.
What about you, BJ?
I'm gonna go
Come
with
on,
Hungry
quick
Rose.
fire.
All right.
All right.
I am
the
going
love
to
of
go
him.
with Bandito et al.
All right. The next match on the buy-in before the main show, Megan Bain and Penelope Ford versus Anna Jay and Harley Cameron. I'm taking Megan Bain and Penelope Ford.
Same.
I am taking Jay and Cameron.
All right. Next, we have Paragon, who's Adam Cole, Kyle O'Reilly, and Roderick Strong, versus the Don Callis family members of Takeshka, Kyle Fletcher, and Josh Alexander.
I'm going
You
Callis
know what?
family.
Yeah, I'm going Callis family as well. I'm going to say this, Josh Alexander pinning Adam Cole.
All right. For bonus points.
Well, no, that would be interesting because it could lead to Alexander versus Cole for the TNT Championship.
All
Dallas
right.
family.
All right. Clean sweep for Callis fam.
All right. FTR versus Nigel McGuinness and Daniel Garcia. BJ, who you got?
I'm gonna go FTR.
As
Chef
am
the
I.
Rep. And
Yep.
as am I. Clean
All right.
sweep.
All
Now,
right.
stretcher match. Mark Briscoe versus Ricochet. I'm taking Ricochet here.
So
This
the
is a tough
match
one
is,
because
it's a stretcher
Yeah,
match, which means you just need to get them on strapped onto the stretcher.
And then you gotta push them up the ramp. There's usually like a taped line there or something
All
like
right.
that. You gotta get them across.
Okay.
this is a tough one because both of these guys, all they do is lose.
Yeah. Right.
I'm going Ricochet here. He'll
Okay.
have them scissors or something, but Ricochet over Briscoe.
I
If
want to
this
see
was-
Briscoe get the win more. I'm gonna go Briscoe.
All right.
You know what? No, you know what? I'll go Briscoe too. This is kind of a this is kind of a dedication to Sabu. That's kind of why this match was thrown together.
Okay.
Oh,
Because it's
okay.
the first
then
ever
definitely
stretcher
Briscoe.
match. Because when
Alright.
they talked about Sabu. First ever stretcher match, yes.
Okay. All right. So
You know.
yeah, then in that case, Briscoe, clean sweep.
All right. AEW Continental Championship. Okada defending against Speedball Mike Bailey, and I'm taking Mike Bailey.
Okada retains. Great showing from Bailey. Okada just gets the victory.
I agree with BJ. Okada.
You know what?
in
I
a
feel like
tight match.
Okada's held that belt for a while now. But if they're
Yeah.
leading to, I could honestly there's talk of unifying that belt with Kenny Omega's belt. So, and I think either one of them would be a great challenger. But I want to see Speedball get a championship.
If they're going to unify those belts, then doesn't the two best belt
Beforehand.
machines going against each other make sense as the way to do it?
I think either matchup against him would be good, but that's future conversation there, my friend.
Yeah. All right. So
Next.
you are taking Bailey. The other two of us are taking Okada.
Yep. Next,
All right.
for the AEW World Tag Team Championship, the Sons of Texas, Sammy Guevara and Dustin Rhodes versus the
You mean-
Hurt Syndicate.
All right. So is it just the AEW, not the ROH on the
Yes,
line?
just the
Yeah.
AEW Tag Team Championship.
All right.
I think Hurt Syndicate retains.
Yeah.
They've got MJF on their side. They can't lose. Hurt Syndicate. They hurt people.
Yeah.
They do.
All
hurt
right.
people. Next, for the AEW.
Did Chef give his pick?
Yeah. We're all Hurt
Yes,
Syndicate.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we hurt people.
Yes, we hurt people. And Ryan Milkey also gets disrespected by YouTube comments. Just so you know. So and nobody comment. No, don't really. Please comment.
YouTube hurts
Comment
people.
a lot. For the AEW Women's World Championship, Timeless Tony Storm defending against Mina Shirakawa. I'm going Timeless Tony Storm just because
Yep.
I think there's more there leading into All In Texas with her as champion.
Storm retains for some reason.
Return to retain.
Yes.
Either way, both.
Tony Storm returns.
The rocker
right.
Tony Storm. With her hardest role playing herself.
So, Chef, you got Tony Storm as well there?
Oh, yeah, we're a clean sweep on Tony Storm.
Okay. So, next, the women's Owen final. Jamie Hayter and Mercedes Moné. Who goes to All In for the chance to win the Women's World Championship?
Mercedes.
Yeah, Sasha Banks.
Yeah, I have to agree.
All right, especially since she just lost one of her belts, so.
Yeah. And then now this is the main. There is one more match after this, but this is the main event of the show. The men's Owen final. Ospreay and Paige. I got Paige. I want it to be Ospreay, but Paige is going to win.
You want to take it first,
go
BJ, or you
Ospreay.
want me to? You're taking
I'm gonna
Ospreay?
go Ospreay. Yeah.
I'm breaking the tie by going with BJ Ospreay as well.
All right. And now, Anarchy in the Arena. Kenny Omega, Swerve, the Ops, and Willow Nightingale versus the Death Riders and the Young Bucks. I'm taking Death Riders and the Young Bucks.
Does it matter who wins this? Like,
No,
at all?
no,
Not really.
no, not at all.
Yeah, no,
I'm taking the Ops.
Yeah. I'm gonna go Riders and Bucks.
All right.
All right. So
And
I'm the only one
everybody-
taking the Ops.
So there we go. We have our
There we
selections
go.
in. I think we
All
hit
right.
everything for this week.
Yeah.
Follow Spo Wrestling at Spo Wrestling on all socials and stuff like that. You know, great stuff going on there. Got the Pro Wrestling Star Academy opening soon. You know, contact Spo Wrestling just by Instagram if you're interested. And at this point, everybody be good to each other. Enjoy some great wrestling because we got 2 shows going with Double or Nothing
Still to go
and
tonight.
NFC Battleground going head to head with each other.
Yeah,
There's
sorry
some-
we're in a
Just
hurry to get
moments.
off air tonight, but there's a lot of
Yeah.
wrestling to be watched.
Yeah.
Starting quite soon.
So everybody have a good night. Go enjoy some pro wrestling, and we will see you next week. And keep an eye out for shorts as we will be posting reactions to some of this stuff. So everybody have a good week. See you next week right here at BJ.
Ring the bell.
Talk Wrestling.
Everybody watching, I'm going to need you to visit www.freakkings.com. Check out all the merch. And before you do that, I'm going to need you to check out PJDG YouTube and Instagram. And while you're doing that, you won't have to remember the name, because you'll remember the face.